Pike's pushed Morton far enough ahead. He's got out of line. Is now Pike going to have a go at Werrell? Don't push him off. He's in the championship fight. Jack Werrell chasing down Carl Jacklin. Further down, Rob Williams and Chris Barnes.
Sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's come back into play. Exactly. Miller's just like chopper. He's not on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the TSRC Abruzzi GT4 Series, Round 5 from Watkins Glen. It is the full circuit with a boot chicane in there as well. Going to cause a challenge for these guys once more here in this series. We've got one round to go after this at Spa, where we will crown our champion. I'm James Parfitt, going to be joined in the booth by Nico Hillebrand here this evening, who's going to be alongside me for what plans to be an epic evening of racing. Let's bring you up to date with the scores on the doors. We've only got 2 rounds to go. Bart Raven out in front on 84 points, with Stefan Mellis in second on 66, Matt Cheverton on 65, and Mav Gardner on 64, with James Smaggersgow on 63. So second place is properly up to grabs in that AMS. David Long in 6th. Then you got Johnny Woo, Joe Thomas, Grant Miller, Marcio Lopez, Matt Smith, Thomas Martin, Mark Pizer, Gareth Ronda, Nathan Lewis Stone, Niels Cool, Pavel Bogdan, and Miles Owens down in 18th. Below that, we've got Lewis Mason and Stephen Hutter, who are the last of the point scorers. In the pros, we've got no Richard Simner again this week, as he is away on holiday, but he does still lead the championship by 5 points over Jamie Nuttall. Mikey Pollard on 63, then Tom Davidson on 53, and Felix Smogey on 48. Then you've got Kieran Sharp, Liam Giles, Hayden Miller, Fleming Jensen, Andrew Pite leading out the top 10. Gwilym Hamlin, Ryan Walker, Scott Warner, Jack Southfield, Nick Clibbons, Pierre-Antoine Dallaire, Bobby Moss, and Ndika Andagui is further down the order in 18th. William Chandler and Ron Maynard, with Richard Phillips and Toby Prosser the last of the scorers. But it is Watkins Glen full circuit here as well. We're going to bring Nico into the booth. We'll have a chat with him. Nico, welcome in, bud. How are you?
I'm doing quite well. Glad to be back at Watkins Glen, one of my personal favorites racing venues of all time, and especially in America. So really good to see this wonderful and diverse field of GT4 machinery around here.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an exciting one, I think, as well. As we said, that chicane is going to cause a bit of a problem for some of these guys, I think, overall. And it's one of them do or die moments into that chicane, I think it is. It's all or nothing, isn't it, really? Because you've either got to take all of the curve going in, or you've got to take none of the curve going in. You can't take half and half, because you will end up in the barrier after that.
It is quite a fun situation, because this chicane is basically the only difference that they have compared to the layout from the early 70s. So they inserted this chicane in the late 70s, well, actually early 80s, I think, to slow down the cars a little bit before the outer loop that comes right after that. But at the same time, they basically made the perfect lunging position, which is, you know, as you said, one of those do or die moments. And we can see a little bit of die here on what we just had.
Yeah, that definitely wasn't a way to do it, was it?
Yeah, but you have to just completely send it in. You have to completely throw it over the curbs. Have to commit. And the problem is, if you don't commit 100%, or, well, if the car is slightly upset, slightly just not behaving the way you anticipated, or the weight transfers a little bit weirdly, the ABS interacts a little bit how you're not expecting it, it's very quickly, well, going around or going straight.
Absolutely. Good evening, Ewan Bramer, rooting for Miles tonight, as he does for you in the SR8. So welcome in, buddy. Shroom, as always, good evening to you, sir, as well. Don't forget, if you are on the TSRC or the JBB YouTube channel, let us know and get yourselves involved. Kieran Sharp is heading up to the chicane now. Now, hopefully, Kieran will give us a demonstration on how to take the chicane. We obviously have seen how not to take the chicane, but this is how you should take the chicane. Now you get to the sign on the left hand side, you start lifting, aiming at the barrier, over we go on the power, looping it around a little bit too hard from Kieran Sharp, but that's basically the basics, right? That's how you should be doing it. And then obviously I think Stefan Mellis will probably give us a demonstration on how to do it as well. But the thing is, that is a life-changing moment in your lap time. That can kill or make your lap time, being that close to that wall. That's the thing, I think, here. And you've got to be big and brave. As you see, Stefan Mellis got through it, but at a slower rate than Kieran Sharp did.
Yeah, but I think the real big kicker here is he basically was able to carry that momentum now through the outer loop. So you have more potential to actually use the full potential of the outer loop, because, you know, you basically mess up your way out of the inner loop, our wonderful high-speed bus stop there. And of course, that entire messing up carries through the next outer loop and then down the hill into the chute. So it's really one of these tracks where you have to just always be perfectly on edge. You have to always be basically perfectly aligned with the car. You have to be completely in mind of, you know, I don't want to overdrive it here, but I have to push my limits.
I do agree. Michael Pollard's going to come over the line. He's got a couple of purples on the board. Here's going to be the final one. Is he going to pop this onto pole? He's got 3 and 2. What's the situation? He does go pole, 152.715. He goes over pole position by 3/10 here. Pollard, that's going to be an off track on the right hand side now. It's a completely different scenario to what it has been at Watkins Glen as well. You have to stay to the other side of the curve at turn 1, whereas down in the hill, down in, I think it's turn 9 or 10, you can run a little bit wide now. So it's almost the reverse, where turn 10 you couldn't, you can now, where turn 1 you could, but you can't. You've got to stay inside the curb, otherwise it's going to be a blatant off track. And some of these drivers, Mark Pfizer, Toby Prosser, William Chandler, Lewis Stone, Mav Gardner, Bart Raven, all looks to be struggling. Bart, of course, leading the AMS at the moment. The battle for second place in the AMS, though, God dearie me, that is looking feisty with how close they all are at the moment. And yeah, you're going to have to keep an eye on that one. Do some math. 63, 64, 65 and 66. That's from Smaggers, Gal, Gardner, Cheverton and Mellis. So yeah, some of these guys are very close together. But Raven, when did you end up? Again, no time on the board for Raven, and he's leading the AMS, and he doesn't want to be at the back. Why? You've got Stefan Mellis sitting on 11th at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And Stefan Mellis and Louis Hesketh as well. Look at that. It's 99 thousandths of a second. So, you know, that is something that you can easily gain if you're just pushing a little bit more. But of course, you know, with the tarmac runoff, it's always deceptively reassuring, you know? You run a little bit too wide, and immediately it's just going with the very, very ungrateful and well, unforgiving 1x. Your lap is invalid now, and now you have to try again, Sugar.
Yeah, absolutely. But Raven, where are you at the moment? Still no time on the board at the moment for Bart Raven. He is going to be struggling through toe on the down the boot straight, coming down into hill now. He's got to make sure he can bury this. This is where you can run a little bit wider than you could before, carry a little bit more speed on that curb, on that runoff, that tarmac on the outside, like you see him do. Now he's coming into the left-hander at 9, I believe this is. Yep, and Careful, be careful, get the power on. Now it's all about what he's going to carry through 10. How much speed is he going to be able to carry? Slight little lift, get the car hooked up, over the curb he goes, and now into the final corner. Round the right-hander, is this going to be a time on the board for Raven, or is there going to be another off-track in the mix for him? Unfortunately, we'll keep an eye on. See if he can get a time on the board. Does he get a time on the board? He does, but man, it's only a 1:54.81, Nico. Well down the order at the moment.
Yeah, I think right now he's just trying to set, just a pace setter lap. So if, for example, he has more bad luck right now, so for example, he goes a little bit too far on the inner loop, cuts some grass there, he still at least has a banker lap that he can rely on, because, even a bad lap is better than no lap at all.
Yep.
Especially around here, you have this insanely wide starting area, so the start-finish straight, then the 90, and then up the S's, and not just people who know iRacing, but people who know World Motorsports and World Motorsports history, they all know how easily chaos goes down up the S's.
Yep. And if it does go down up the S's, it is a parking lot. Kieran Sharp puts it on pole, 1:52.705. Pollard 1:52.823. No improvement. Sharp absolutely flying at this moment in time as well, as he puts it on pole position. We've got 6 minutes left of qualifying. These guys are going to have a little bit more of an opportunity. There has been many times I have watched a broadcast or watched a race or did a broadcast where they do come together up that S's, and it has literally turned into a parking lot. The guy at the front goes round, hits the wall, goes across the track. Everybody else just goes and smashes into him. And next thing you know, you're stationary. And that is one thing they want to try and avoid.
Yeah, but that's just one thing that, it's not just the problem that sim racers have. There's this huge pileup from like way back in the 80s, from the GTP series, from IMSA days with the Nissan 300ZX and all that. The cars are like well stationary already, but because you have that blind over the crest left-hander, you're just coming over there already well accelerated over 200 kilometers an hour or over 120 miles an hour if you are in the Imperial system area. And what are you going to do at that point? You're slamming on the brakes, the car turns around on you, and still, you can see how blind it is here, and all of a sudden, car.
Yep. And the problem is as well, is that despite how much you're on the radio and you're calling it out and calling it out and calling it out, you guarantee the moment you slam on your brakes, there's going to be somebody in your back end. And then that's it. It's chaos after that. Because we can control what we do, but we can't control what others do. And that's the problem, I think, within sim racing as well. We see a yellow flag, and there's the people that will slow down and be aware of the yellow, and there's the people who just see it as a great opportunity to gain places. So there you go. Jamie Nuttall 1:52.97, 56 for Kieran Sharp there, had a bit of a bad lap. But that's the problem, isn't it? You've got the people that slow down, and then you've got the people that go full tilt because they see it as they're going to gain places on a yellow flag.
I think that's the big difference to real motorsport, because in real motorsport, one, you can lose your license, you can lose quite literally either your most expensive hobby in the world or your livelihood, basically, with the license if you completely ignore a yellow flag. For example, on the Nordschleife, when people lose their Nordschleife permit when they are not slowing down properly. But also, if you're involved in a crash, you're going to feel it a lot more than in sim racing. Even when you have a direct drive wheel, it hurts like hell if you get those 20 Newton meters whacked out of your hands, and it can definitely break a finger or a wrist. But, people still don't really have that experience too much, I think. So, technically speaking, you should basically mandate for sim racers to wear those force feedback vests for shooter games. So when they have an impact or something, they get a jolt from that. Yeah. But, I think even then, people still, they will be opportunistic, obviously. They're trying to do the big Ayrton Senna mindset, if gap car, and unfortunately it doesn't really work out too often.
No, that's the thing, I think, as well. It doesn't. And if gap car works, but not under a yellow flag, up through the S's, when you can guarantee there's going to be a pilot. So,
Yeah.
and we've got 33 cars registered in the session at this moment in time as well. So it could be very, very much a pile up. Kieran Sharp again, a couple of greens on the board. Jamie Nuttall has only got one green on there. What's Mikey Pollard doing in behind? Kieran Sharp 52.7. Is that going to be an improvement? If 52.6
Yep.
it is now. Smogie's up there as well. What did Pollard do? 57.6 there for Pollard. Bad lap for Mikey Pollard, but I'm sure he'll keep coming back and keep going and going and going here as well, trying to keep up with the draft of, I believe that's Jamie Nuttall in front of him, and he's got a Mercedes. I'm wondering if that is Felix Smoggy in front of Pollard. Where are you, son? There you are. So it's Felix Smoggy there as well. Every bit of draft helps here, Nico, and I think that's what they're trying to all do at the moment, with Kieran Sharp leading the front four here.
Yeah, I'd absolutely agree. Especially around this higher uphill section. You know, you come out of the 90, and I think that's one of my most favorite aspects about Watkins Glen. Like, half of the corners you're on camber, so you don't have that off-camber stuff where you're praying for your life, basically, on the constant. You know, you're basically just trying to nail the corner and just not go off track. Most of the corners here are on camber for at least the entrance, so you have always these insane corner entry speeds, and then, for example, here at the toe, you go slightly off camber now, but at that point you've already have gotten most of the acceleration done already, so the rear's weighted up, and you can just keep pack racing, which makes this track just so fun to watch. And so you're not really too reliant around here for, oh my god, everyone is going off there.
Yeah, that's because they're free to. That's the thing, I think, with that. Is since they changed the off-track limits on the outside there, you're free to run a little bit wider to carry more speed. But turn one is a little bit tighter because you've got to stay within the other side of the curb. Smoggy has got a purple sector in sectors 2 around the final corner here. Is he going to pick up on that draft there? A little bit of a weave from Nuttall in front, probably more of a protection than anything else. He goes over the line. Smoggy's over the line. What about Pollard over the line? No real improvements. End of qualifying at the moment. And these guys will get the opportunity, I think, to finish off their laps here. Miles Owen sitting down in 12th, leading the AMs, the AM lead driver for the Simrace Sweden Esports boys. So they're as well being cheered on by Ewan Braemar as he goes into the pit lane. Stefan Mellis still carrying on, getting slight improvements in sectors number 4 and 5. Oh, they're going to be next to each other on the grid. The leader of the AMs, Mellis and Owens, at 153.3, 153.5. That is going to be an exciting battle to sit back and watch. Nick Clibborn's goes over the line as well. I think Matt Cheverton is going to be the last one who will be, no, it's, yeah, it will be Cheverton. Should be the last one. He's got a couple of minutes to get back round this lap time. I think just judging by them lap times there as well and how tight this is going to be, it could be either absolutely amazing or we're going to have the front 15 a second apart in a wall and it all's going to go completely Pete on.
I think that's one of the big things that can always happen here. You know, if there's a big crash, then it could very well wipe out the entire field, or most of them. But, you know, you generally have quite a lot of space, I think, around this area. Like, the track's always fairly wide. It's not a strange occurrence to see 4 wide here into any corner, especially when you have multi-class. And even for like a singular class race, it's always really, really good to see because you have the different strengths and weaknesses of the vehicle. So, for example, we're seeing some of the Porsches here, 1, 2, 3, up in the Pro class right now. And then right after that, we have classic front engined and rear wheel drive cars, like the new BMW and the 2 Mercedes of Giles and Smoggy. So there's different dynamics in the cars that, you know, have different advantages around the lap.
Yep, you are right, and it's going to be a very interesting one to see how this one pans out. Don't go anywhere because you are just about to watch some incredible racing from some amazing racing drivers, and you're going to see what can only be described as going either 2 ways. It's going to be awesome or it's going to go all wrong. Let's see the grid here as well. Kieran Sharp on pole, Mike Pollard on second, Bobby Moss in third with Jamie Nuttall in fourth, Liam Giles fifth and Felix Smogey in sixth, Hayden Miller in seventh, Toby Prosser eighth, Ryan Walker ninth and Graham Hamlin rounding out the top 10. Tom Davidson in 11th, leading AM driver at this moment in time, Miles Owen in 12th. He's going to be closely followed by Stefan Ellis in second. And we got Andrew Pike, Nick Clibbons, William Chandler, Stephen Hutter, Louis Heskev, Matt Cheverton and Bart Raven rounding out the top 20. Then after that, we've got Mav Gardner, Scott Warner, Thomas Martin and Ron Maynard. James Smaggersdale down in 25th, Garen Rodda 26th, David Long 27th, Grant Miller 28th, Matt Smith 29th, Johnny Woo 30th, Joe Thomas, Nathan Lewis Stone and Mark Pfizer at the end in 33. 33 cars on this circuit here as well. Nico, final question, what can go wrong?
Well, either everything or nothing. I mean, that's generally the consensus around here. Like, one thing that could happen very well, now people aren't looking for valid laps in qualifying anymore, so a lot of times when we go through turn one, the 90, as it's so lovingly called, people carry a lot of speed through there because it's, you know, an on-camber corner, you have a lot of runoff at the outside. So even if you're thinking, okay, this is going to be 2-3 wide, you know, but I can still evade to the outside. The outside runoff very rapidly closes back in, and unfortunately, that is very often, you know, one of these moments when it goes from 6 lanes down to 2 lanes on a motorway. Everyone's scrambling to get into the lane in front of the others, and all of a sudden, there's no more space.
Oh, Kieran Sharp late getting off the line there, sir. That line checked up a little bit, but that's fine. We're still under pace lap. We're not going anywhere at this moment in time that's really going to matter to these drivers. We're just driving around, pooling around this circuit, I think could be the safest thing to say. Now, this is where I think I'm hoping. Now, generally with GT4s, they don't get quite as loose as cold tyres as GT3s or GTPs or LMP2s or anything like that going up through the S's. So I'm hoping that at least we can make it through the S's and into the inner loop for the first time without any problems, Nico. And I suppose that's got to be the plan for these drivers, right?
I mean, survival is, as you said, you know, it's not too difficult in GT4. So you in comparison to hypercars or to LMDHs or GT3s, you have less power, of course. You have a little bit lighter weight in some cases, but also heavier weight in others. And you know, it's different benefits that this brings with it. You know, if you have a bit heavier car, then it's, and well, also with the slightly longer wheelbase, a little bit less happy to turn, but also a little bit more stable. And around these parts, we have, I think, pretty much, well, all cars now have race spec ECUs here. So race spec PC, race spec ABS, and luckily not too aggressive power mappings. And you know, these guys are used to not having a lot of downforce. So these guys are used to relying on mechanical grip. So I think it's a lot more organic, the change from cold to warm tires.
Yeah. There's a lot for these guys to take on, and there's a lot of things that could go wrong. Let's see what's going to happen. A few more corners before we get this underway, and before we get it green, green, green. Be aware, anything could happen. Let's get through the first lap. We have got 40 minutes of racing. There will be pit stops due to the fact that there are issues. There will be pit stops due to the fact that there's not issues. They haven't got the fuel on that one to be able to get to the end. So they will have to take a pit stop. So let's see how this one pans out. Pit stop strategies going to come into play as Kieran Sharp leads the field into the final corners before that pace car will pull in. Is he going to go straight away? Is he going to go later on? What is going to be the situation? He's got to wait for it to peel in. But at the moment, the GT4s, all 33 of them, are going to be running here pace car's going to do that weird right turn all of a sudden. There you go. Could have just gone down the inside. But we are now on Kieran Sharp. He's keeping them for as long as possible. Now he's going to go. There's action further back already. Nuttall's going for a move around the outside. Bobby Moss is on there. They're 4 or 5 wide, coming straight at us at the moment. Who's going to be surviving all of this one? It's going to be Liam Giles. Mikey Pollard survived. There's people at the back who have not survived. That's Hamlin. Huta is unfortunately off the side of the circuit. Louis Heskev somehow has gone to the front. How the gee whiz did he get there? Kieran Sharp leads us up through the S's. There's an issue there as well. That's Miles
that's
Owens.
Martin upside down.
Yeah, Ryan Walker, Miles Owens all gone upside down. Unfortunately on this one, we'll have a look back. Stefan Mellis still in there, battling side by side at the moment. He wants the inside line for the chicane. He needs the inside line with Matt Cheverton tucked in right behind him. Louis Heskev somehow up 9 places from the start. We'll have a look back and see how he managed that. Was it all clean? That's going to be the question for Louis Heskev, sitting in 9th place at the moment in time. But Kieran Sharp taking the whole shot at the beginning.
It was absolutely big chaos there. I think, well, we saw a couple of the Porsches in the front actually making contact before the turning point. So, oh, there's another one off. That's Mellis.
Yeah, Mellis is
the
off.
man chasing. Even more misfortune for him.
Liam Giles is in there as well. That was a little bit of a chaotic start. He's got Mike Pollard alongside. Pollard's going to go up the inside. Is he going to be able to hang on around the outside now? Felix Smogie's going to try and hold on to that inside. Liam Giles is there as well. Pollard runs a little bit wide. He knows that already. He's going to sit in the car, cursing himself now. Now around turn 9. Is he going to be able to manage this? He's not. Smokey's going to have it. Pollard's going to try and demand the inside line going around the final corner. Let's see how it goes. He's gone round! Louis Heskev is round! People.
There's another Porsche that was hit then. Oh, that's... Yeah.
Somebody else on that roof.
That's on the roof. Yeah, I think he got ramped off of that second Porsche there into the safer barrier and then, yeah.
Oh my dearie me.
So that's the second flip in the first lap.
Yep.
And that's Louis Hesketh down as well.
Pollard, Hesketh,
miraculous.
Miller.
Oh God, so that was Hesketh, the second Porsche that was hit there, I think.
Oh, look at the contact, Miles Owens.
Yeah.
He just
slightly cut across the front.
He absolutely got rooted. See if we can pick this up a little bit earlier on here. No, we need to go back a little bit more. William Hamlin went off first, so that's his incident. Then Miles Owens running up the hill. Ryan Walker's on the inside there. Oh, they got looped together. And then unfortunately, that was it. For Miles Owens, we are on our roof and we are upside down. And that beginning was a little bit chaotic. He just drifts out on the corner here and then he just gets looped in, and then unfortunately that's all he sees for Miles Owens and Ryan Walker there as well. Not a good start for them. Then Stefan Mellis causes drama. I think there was wheel-on-wheel contact there with the steering with the front wheels there. Light jump up in the air and yeah, and springs back in and spins. Pollard goes first. There's Hesketh. There's Davidson. And then it's Davidson rooted on his roof there, unfortunately. But at the moment, Kieran Sharp still surviving out in front with Jamie Nuttall. Cheverton now leading the AMs. Smaggersgal in there, Mav Gardner up. Check this out, 10, 15, 10. Between them, they have gained 35 places between the two of them there. And that is absolutely insane. That Cheverton is up 10 places, Smaggersgal up 15, and Mav Gardner up 10 in behind him. Where is Mellis at the moment? Is he still... Also doesn't... Yeah. With the crazy gains, it doesn't stop there. Maynard right behind that is up 12 places, and David Long and the lone McLaren is up also quite a few still. Yeah. Actually, I think that got slightly... no, it wasn't correct. Sorry, it just switched to class view on the timing, so... Yeah, David Long now in 4th place in class, gaining 4 places in class, and I think also 14 or 15 places overall. Yeah, absolutely insane. We've got Clibbins in the pits as well. Oh, what did you do? How did you end? Oh God! Oh God! You went for it, didn't you? You went for it. You went for it, and
Fuck.
You run too wide through that chicane. That's what you're going to end up with.
Yeah, that's the real tricky part, especially when you're too wide in that inner loop. You know, you have to try and use as little turning as possible. So he's trying to leave him space. Hits the inside curb on that left-hander, the second one there, and just hits it slightly wrong. Has to rotate the car too much, and then the car just goes, well, you want me to rotate? Let's rotate.
Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, that was the rotation. Kieran Sharp still leading the pros, and we've still got Cheverton, who's got Smaggersgow and Gardner in the AMS. Mellis, at the moment, is sitting down in 11th in class, 20th overall. Where is Bart Raven? Bart Raven is just in front of him. So Bart Raven up one from where he started. He survived, but Mellis is behind him. So these two in the championship fighting it out. There's literally, what have we got, 18 points between them for Stefan Mellis, so he has to finish above Bart Raven if he can, but it's going to be tough there, and Cheverton is under pressure once more here.
Absolutely. I think, honestly, like looking at the standings, this might be Raven's new strike result. Or well, drop score, as it's also known. Because right now, you know, best results, first, second, first, and the last round down in sixth.
Not how you do that. That is not for Smaggersgow how you do that. We've got Chandler and Smith side by side. They've sorted that one out quite well. Pollard and Louis Heskev in the Aston Martin. Oh no. Oh no.
Another one. Yeah, but the Aston thinks better of it, but does he? Ooh.
It does.
Far right there.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see his green flag moment for Louis Heskev. Because I think him gaining all them places seems a little bit. Be interesting to see what he did here. So he's in that orange Aston, and oh, where's he going? Oh, they weren't over the line.
Oh, so did he maybe have a
five wide? Contact, that initial contact there caused a drama, but 5 wide. I know are we green? That's it's passed on the inside, so I would have thought.
I think it's already green, so that should be legal. So he's passed there already, and I think he's already on the inside there. He's trying to stay as much inside as possible. I wouldn't say that incident was his fault. It was just,
I'm not saying it's his fault. It's going to be interesting to see when they look into the start, because normally you go green and you're not allowed to pass on the inside. Obviously, maybe I'm thinking the NASCAR rules that you have to be on the outside when you're green before the finishing line. So, you know, normally you have to. You can pass on the outside before the line, but if you pass on the inside, you normally end up getting a penalty. Now, whether or not that's the same in GT racing as it is in NASCAR, of course, not 100% sure on that one, then that's the situation. Piercy, did Mikey die, or do I need to go back and watch it? No, he did. He died, dear sir. He ended up going up he got involved in something. I'll show you in 2 seconds. But yeah, on that one, that's normally the rules of it, isn't it?
I think for GT racing, it should be fine, honestly speaking. It should be allowed there, and yeah, Tom Davidson there.
There you go.
Yeah.
That is unfortunately what happened.
That is quite comical that the rear bumper just falls off when he's already on its roof. Yeah,
it goes round and then poof, he's pushed round again, and then he's into the wall for Mikey Pollard, Piercy. So, Sam Catgazinos, good day, JP, good day, mate. How are you? My resident Australian little buddy, who's out there as well, and did a great job the other day in a league he was in. Took his first podium, so fair play for Sam on that one in the GR86s. So, well done, Sam, for doing that. But Kieran Sharp, Jamie Nuttall and Liam Giles, Felix Smogey, Bobby Moss, Toby Prosser. Then this battle in the AMS is still not deteriorating. Cheverton, Smaggersgal and Gardner battles up and down the racetrack at the moment here as well, Nico, and everybody not too far apart from each other at all.
Absolutely, and that's just the wonderful part about Watkins Glen here. Wonderful classic circuit established first in 1956 in the US. And it's just encouraging pack racing so much as we have this little over and under there from Smaggersgal, not quite able to get alongside of that absolutely enormous M4 in the 2023 spec. But, actually just mowing the lawn a little bit, so utilizing a double edged function for the front lip for the Mercedes there.
Lee Gardner's now going to try and go around the outside at the moment. The leaders are still quite close together. Gardner just got that all wrong. That battle's going to drop off a little bit. What's going on with Sharp and Nuttall? Well, at the moment in time, it is that close. You've got Nuttall in the BMW, Sharp in the Porsche. We've got 30 minutes to go, and we're going to have pit stops to deal with as well. Sam has said in the Oval chat, road racing is either side on the start, Nico. So there you go. Apparently you can take either side on the start of that one, and considering ovals is either side, is only on the outside, I believe, on that one. PSC, you could overtake the other lane, but not your lane. See, but he did overtake his lane. That's the question. I think that's where we have questions.
From oval. I think that's from oval. Like for road racing, as much as I know, as for GTs, for touring cars and everything, from a rolling start, as soon as the line is over, you can basically just attack. And quite honestly, that start from Hesketh was absolutely phenomenal. Just going basically diagonally through the field, using that perfect reaction time that he had there to just find the perfect gaps everywhere the entire time, fly past that Porsche on the inside, and then establish himself on the inside of that BMW. Really, really good run. A huge shame what happened to him at the end of that lap.
Well, they were 5 wide going down into turn 1. It was never really going to work out at all, was it?
Well, you know, that's not going to stop them from trying, though, is it?
I know, but I think 5 wide is a little bit crazy. I think you've got to err on the side and use your little grey matter that, you know, or go in there. As you can see here, Chandler now. This is Grant Miller. Oh, Miller's given us a little bit of a squeeze there, dear sir. Easy, easy. How are we going to go through here? This is going to be the question. We're going to try 2 wide. Oh, that was very slow from both of them in the end. It wasn't a successful inner loop chicane for either of them on that one, Nico. I think they kind of slowed each other down side by side.
Yeah, and I mean, in the end, it's not a direct fight because Chandler's in Pro, if I see it correctly, yeah, and Miller is in Am. But nevertheless, you know, this is basically what he's just trying to get past. You know, Chandler's trying to get back past all of these AM drivers so he can start attacking other pros again. So for him, it's basically just a nuisance, but they are in the end obviously racing different races, but also the same race. So an AM driver is never going to try and back down in those situations.
Well, this situation is going to be interesting. Leader of the AMs in the BMW, second place in the AMs in the Porsche, and he obviously for Stefan Mellis was slid on, which looked a little like there was contact, and then obviously dropped down the order to where Bart Raven was, and now he's right behind Raven. This is 1 and 2 in your AM Championship. We're nowhere near on circuit on track at the start, mind you, because Bart Raven had what can only be deemed as an absolutely horrible qualifying. Mellis had a great qualifying there, managed to keep his way and get his way up. I think it was in 11th overall, second in class. Did a great job. Mellis had a spin, and now they're going to be racing on track. This is going to be flame-throwing fireworks here with Bart Raven and Stefan Mellis, who's holding the inside line. Raven's gone off track. This is going to be it here, Nico. This is where we're going to see what Mellis is going to be made of. Is he going to be man enough to attack Raven and go for that championship lead that he needs, or the extra points that he needs here, because he needs to start closing in on Raven as soon as possible.
And the Porsche looks far more agile around here, far more pleasant to drive, like a well-trained boxer. But the BMW, of course, it's just that powerhouse, you know? Even with that much slipstream, you can still see the difficulty that Mellis has to even get alongside with the BMW. And with that long wheelbase, of course, that thing is very, very stable in quick direction changes, even if it's a bit more hesitant to turn in.
Yep. Mellis is going to have to go again. There's Pollard in behind him as well, obviously recovering through. 15 minutes gone. We've got literally, I'm trying to do maths now, that's 25 to go here. Mellis takes that corner a little bit wider. That closes Pollard in. The question is, what's going to happen here? Because we've got the pro of Pollard recovering, and we've got the AM championship battle taking place right in front of him. What is Pollard going to do here? He obviously is going to want to get past, but he's going to want to do it without interrupting what's going on, because these are the championship leaders in their class fighting it out on the racetrack. So, yeah, this is going to be an interesting scenario for Pollard.
I mean, he's going to try and get past as quickly as humanly possible, obviously, but these guys are in no hurry to let him pass. They're way more focused on each other. And of course, in this case, you know, Mellis is trying to get to Raven, but Raven also trying to get to Smith in front of him. Meanwhile, we have Andrew Pike, our first, I think, scheduled pit stop, going with a very early stop strategy. Because these cars are basically set up to last around a maximum of 30 minutes, excluding the formation lap, and with the fuel tank sizes here.
Matt Smith's going to get dragged into this soon. This is going to be interesting to see how they sort this one out. Because you've got Smith, Raven, Mellis, then you've got Pollard the pro, who wants to get through, who can see a battle looming on the side of the racetrack. I think for Mellis, I would look somewhere else. I wouldn't look going in for that chicane, because he's tried it 2 laps in a row, and 2 laps he's ended up time. I would look at getting the run through the chicane and maybe trying on the inside of the outer loop, or trying down into the next part, because at the moment he struggles to stay with him there, and we will, and I think he needs to change a little bit of strategy, change your nozzle a little bit, change your thinking. Can you do it? But what he has got to be careful of is if Raven clears Smith, he's got to go with him. This is like multi-class GTP on a GT3. The GTP leaders need to go together. Mellis, you've got to go with him. You've got to go with him, because if you get held up, you're going to be in trouble. He has got to go with Bart Raven now to make sure he can minimize his loss in the championship. Oh, yeah, I think, no.
Oh, goodness. Not quite how we hoped he'd play that out.
It's got...
But
no.
Getting a little bit of a light rear end on that Mercedes there. But that allowed Mellis to get into it as well, but now he's in the marbles, so Smith gets back through.
Smith's going into the pits. Mellis is going in as well.
Yeah, I think he's basically just throwing the towel for now. I think Mellis is basically going, okay, I'm faster here, but the only part where I'm decisively faster I can't use right now, and that's the inner loop. That's where you really profit from the mid-engine layout.
Yeah, do you know, that's the thing. I think I would have, with Smith going in, Mellis has got to make sure now he tries to come out in front of him. He doesn't want to get caught in behind Smith. So I don't know if Smith going in, I would have gone another lap. Because I think for him, he needs to make sure he can get out in front. And at the moment, he's still there. Matt Smith's on his way. Mellis has got to decide he needs to go, because if he gets caught,
Oh, and he jumped him. He did jump him.
Oh, he needed to jump him. That's the problem. He needs to now. He's quicker than Smith. No offense, Matt. If you watch this back, he just is. And he needed to get past him now. Now he's got to put in banking quali laps until Raven decides he's going to come in, because he's the one he needs to get past for Mellis on the pit lane. So that's a very exciting battle going on right there. 2 championship leaders. Raven had a horrible qualifying, dropped down the order. Mellis had a great qualifying, but a horrible start, and he dropped him into within the same vicinity as Raven. So we are going to keep an eye on the Bart Raven situation there as well. Pollard has just cleared Raven and put himself up into night. Watkins Glen, one of the most enjoyable tracks to race on. I fully agree with you, Sam. I've got to be honest, it is an amazing circuit. I do love this track here as well. So yeah, Kieran Sharp, Nuttall, Giles, Smoggy, Moss, that is the top 5 at the moment, and they're all pro dominated, with Toby Prosser leading out the pros. First to the AMs is still Cheverton, Smaggersgale. Now we've got Maynard in there between David Long, Gardner's in the pits, Ravens in the pit lane. Where are you? He is in the pit lane. This is going to be... Oh, So, I don't know if he's going to get there for Stefan Mellis. I'll keep an eye on that one. But Sharp and Nuttall still going at it. This is so exciting at the moment.
Absolutely exciting. So, also ironically, we're interrupting this championship leader battle in the M class, but not for the race lead of Porsche, BMW, and Mercedes, and bring you the overall lead battle of Porsche, BMW, and Mercedes. The only difference being that it's now for the overall lead of the race, and it's the old model BMW instead of the new model.
I think the thing is as well is with Kieran Sharp being in the championship as he is at the moment, I think we've got to look at where the other situation will be. You know, Sharp is at the moment down in 6th in the championship. He's 31 points off. Nuttall is sitting in 2nd. Simnar's not here, of course. But I think with the AM battle... Oh.
Bless you. Bless you again.
Thank you very much on that one. Sorry if you heard that. I just did try and mute my mic in the process, but I don't think I quite got there. But with that AM battle being as it is at the moment, it's very interesting to see what goes on and guess which way round they are. Raven got ahead of Mellis. So Mellis is 2.6 seconds back. I would have gone longer. If I was Mellis, I would have gone an extra lap. I would have done to try and clear that if I could have done. Or covered off Bart Raven somehow.
I think he lost too much time on the pit entry, truthfully, because he decided to, well, he had to stay behind Smith there as well, of course, because he can't overtake with the pit blend line. But, you know, he just lost too much time in that situation. Should have tried to maybe go around the outside. He probably still would have gotten Smith with an overcut, I think, just, you know, out of the overall pace difference that we saw with both of them closing up on Smith. But yeah, I can still understand why he tried to go there instead. You know, instead of trying to attack for another lap or trying to go for another move around the outside and then try to keep fighting with the BMW. It's just one of these heat of the moment decisions where you have to try and decide, you know, do I pull the trigger on this or do I not? And you never really know how it works out until you actually try it.
Yeah, I would have, as I say, I probably would have looked to go one more. I think that's the thing. I think for me, it needed one more for Mellis because Smith had effectively cleared himself out of the battle. He effectively cleared the way for Mellis to go at Raven. And I think I would have preferred Mellis going one more to then make up for the fact that he has got that extra lap on Raven to go now. He's clear. He's tucked him right behind him there as well. Love this track in F4. Brilliant, says Brooks as well. He crossed the line on pit exit. Who? Mellis? No. He was I think he was between the blue cones, though. Please don't tell me he's only gone and did a... Oh, did he give himself a penalty?
That would be quite frustrating.
Oh, that would be highly annoying. No, I think he might be all right.
That is very, very borderline from that angle, but I think he might be all right.
Yeah, I think he might be. Now there's a pit exit, Toby Prosses on the exit, Maynard, Long, Miller in the pit lane, Grant and Hayden, both from the Phoenix Racing, in the pit lane as well. What's the situation down further down? Mellis is still behind Raven. So, yeah, these guys still behind on that one. But it seems that Watkins Glen is the circuit, Nico, where you put them on the calendar, and you put it on the calendar, and everybody's quite happy about it. Whereas if you put somebody, I don't know, somewhere like Magello, which I cannot stand, I've got to be honest, the circuit drives me crazy, even though I've got it in my V8 league next Tuesday, is a different of opinion, where kind of everybody loves Watkins Glen, right? You know, nobody really has an issue with this circuit.
I think Watkins Glen is just one of these tracks where, you know, no matter what time period you use from it, no matter what layout you use from it, every time it's like, okay, cool, yeah, that makes for good racing. Even the 1940s one, before this actual track was built, where it was still a road race with random gravel sections thrown in, which I really wish we would get on a modern sim, you know, so modders get on it, please. Thank you very much in advance. You know, even that is one of those, you know, really crazy parts in history where, you know, motorsport really just shined through, and they brought literally everything to race.
Yeah. Sharp,
So,
Moss,
you know,
and Cheverton are in the pit lane. Mellis has passed Miller. He did lose a place to Miller, and now he's back through on that one. So Grant Miller down in 11th overall. Leaders in the pits. Thomas Martin's in the pits as well. So it's all going to be Jamie Nuttall needing qualifying laps at the moment, Nico.
Yeah, but for Nuttall, I think he's in the best position possible right now. Second place in the standings at the moment, 69 points, very nice. 5 points only behind Richard Simnor, who has actually missed the last round already, and I don't see on the grid at the moment.
No, it's
that's
not.
Another 0-pointer. So right now, Jamie Nuttall looks in the best position for this championship imaginable, because Pollard is down in 7th. I think he'll still be like fairly beaten off. 6 points behind Nuttall right now in the championship, and yeah, Nuttall will be looking to go into that final round with a quite comfortable place, with a very, you know, decent strike result as well, with 15th place in round 1. And if he gets, well, either first or second place here, that is a very, very comfortable position he's putting himself in.
Yeah, he absolutely is. We'll keep an eye and see on this one for the championship. I think Simnor is back next week, so that's going to be a return for Richard Simnor at Spa. See what he will be able to do in the championship. Nuttall is in, Giles is in, Smoke is in. Where are you at this moment in time for Mr. Kieran Sharp? He is around turn 8, coming into 9. So we will keep an eye on when these guys are. None of them have stopped at the moment. Need to get stopped.
Yeah, still waiting for that at the very end of the pit lane.
Here he comes. This is going to be. They're not moving.
Not yet, and that's Chandler going in, so the 4th cracked car also in the pit lane.
They're still. Nuttall's made a mistake.
Something has gone wrong there. Something has gone critically wrong there for Nuttall. Both his teammates are already out.
Pollard's found himself back into 5th. I'm a bit worried about Pollard's fuel situation. Is he going to have to get to the end because he went in on lap 1? Or is he going to have to stop again? He doesn't have the most amount of fuel. So for Pollard on 44% fuel, can he get to the end? Smogey's in behind Giles. Moss is in front of Pollard. Nuttall is only... he got speeding in the pit lane. 40 seconds. Yep, because he's got a pit lane time 40 seconds slower than everybody else. So Jamie Nuttall just got done for speeding in the pit lane. Good Lord.
And there's that comfortable position gone with the wind.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely on that one. So yeah, Gucci, the graphics. Change the settings in YouTube, mate. It goes out in 1440, buddy. So there's no problem with the graphics there. Change the settings in YouTube. Ryan Walker does end up getting overtaken by Stephen Hunter, who's just gotten through. Miles Owens is still out on the racetrack after his turn 1 ta-ta-ta, should we say, with Ryan Walker that left Miles Owens upside down. Hunter's still out there, but Kieran Sharp looking pretty at the moment. 1.55 seconds here. Out in front, Nico. Could be dominating.
Very, very confident, but of course he has to look out behind him because those are teammates. Liam Giles and Felix Smoggy, both of them in Mercedes, both of them in cars that are very, very fast on a straight and very much designed to just go fast in a straight and, well, be good in mid-corner. And to compensate a little bit for that sluggishness in turning. But nevertheless, those two are teammates. And they do know how to work together, so I think they'll just try potentially to aim towards, maybe trying to arrow push each other if they can be close enough together without losing too much time. Yep. Or if they're going to just, try and go, okay, we're isolating ourselves, we're trying to catch them by ourselves, which seems to be working right now, by the way, because those 1.5 seconds we had half a lap ago went down to 1 second now already. So Giles is moving.
Yeah, the answer to Pollard having to go into pits is answered. He did. He is going to come out alongside Jamie Nuttall this is another championship battle. Right? Nuttall at the moment is obviously in front of Pollard, I believe, by literally 6 points. So Pollard has got in front of Nuttall. Mellis is closing on the back of Raven again. They're literally only 2-3 taps apart. So we've got although Sinno's not here, we've still got championship inclinations of what's going on with Nuttall, Pollard fight out for second and third, or effectively it could be first and second. And now we've still got Raven and Mellis, who are also scrapping it out here for the championship lead in the AMs. So yeah, good luck to us figuring out this one by the end of it.
If I would get $2, well, $1 for every single time that we went from a round-by-round lead fight for the class to a championship lead fight through random circumstances in the race, like a crash or speeding in pit lane or something, I'd have $2, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice this round already.
That is it.
The move.
Oh,
into the heel.
Do you know what's worse is what's in front? And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way to the likes of William Chandler there, but he has got Chandler and Long, Long is in the AMs, of course. So for these guys, it's going to be interesting to see how they weave their way through. But it's the same scenario as Raven and Mellis. Whatever Pollard does, Nuttall's got to do, because he can't afford to lose time. Talking about Mellis and Raven, this is them at this moment in time, going for it over each other as well for the championship. So we've almost got two stories being written here. Raven's just hit the wall. He's just hit the wall. Now Mellis is going to look again in the run alongside him. Is he going to go through here? Stefan Mellis could clear Bart Raven. Going down into turn one. Is Raven steering straight?
Oh, we got very lucky there. That looks straight still.
It looks straight. So that's still going on. So we'll keep an eye on that one. But it's here as well. It's Pollard Nuttall. It's all involved with Chandler and Long, who are not in the championship. What cars do you think is best for the all-round package in GT4s? Some have said the Porsche. Most people say the Porsche. And I'm probably going to say the Porsche as well. There you go. However, I drive the McLaren. So, don't listen to me on that one. And I'll commentate. Again, don't listen to me on that one. Nico's probably better to answer than I am.
I'd say the Porsche as well, actually, because naturally aspirated 3.8 litre flat six, mid-engine, very, very agile. That car was developed over ages, and it's basically just the 911's little brother with a, mid-engine car. And I really like the Cayman, so I am a little bit biased, though I also quite like the 570S. It's a really, really nice car.
Oh, Pollard's itching. He is itching at the moment. Time the frustration from Pollard, and he's just opened up the inside. He's just opened up the inside. You went the wrong way, Mikey. No, Mikey, no.
This is so not right. It's locked in front again. Oh. Jamie Nuttall looks like he's wrestling the Titanic through the ice field, and the little white iceberg in front of him in form of the Cayman is just trying to evade him as well. But my goodness, look at that! Now 3 wide into turn 1.
And he still can't get through. The McLaren's out of the way. He's gonna... Oh, he was just elbowed out of the way. Oh, Nuttall, you bully in the BMW. Oh.
He channeled his BMW experience on the Autobahn there.
Yeah. That was a beast of a car, just taking out beast mode on poor old David Long, and he's had to jump back to the pits as well for Long. I want to have a look if I can see, but I also don't want to leave poor old this battle. Long's going to go wide. He goes wide. Nuttall comes up alongside him, and then boom, and then puts Long straight into the wall. So I'm sure that might be under question a little bit later on. What is going on in... We've still got Pollard. He cannot clear Chandler at this moment in time. Poor old Pollard is just kind of stuck there with Nuttall in the mix. Raven is now still climbing over Mellis. Oh, this is an absolute nightmare situation. You've got Kieran Sharp leading the race, by the way. Nuttall's just gone up the inside of turn 8. Pollard's going to run that speed. Nuttall's going to squeeze him. He's lost a position now, the Porsche. The BMW of Jamie Nuttall has gone through. Price is, I think, in the community chat there as well. Murdered letting the pros through. I give up, he says on that one.
Oh.
Don't quit, sir. You can do it.
It was just wrong place, wrong time, and I think Jamie Nuttall just expected him to go slightly wider there. But yeah, I mean that's what happens when you're coming across the biggest car made by mankind to ever touch a racetrack, other than one of those big, humongous 1970s muscle cars in America.
Oh, they've swapped again. Cleared Mellis. Oh, Mellis is going. He's not going.
Not yet. He's
No,
just letting him know.
He's
just knocking on the door.
He's there just going, hello, I'm here, appearing. Oh, no.
Oh,
Oh, no.
Oh, he's forcing his way now.
Now Mellis is just going for it.
But he has the shorter distance on the inside. Does he have enough? Does he have enough momentum to make it alongside there? Mellis now on the outside. Does he actually stay alongside? Yes, they do! Can he make it work? Absolutely incredible.
Oh, he got through. That's the first two wide in that chicane we have seen work there for Stefan Mellis and Bart Raven. I tell you what, that was amazing. Right, what's going on back up here? We're jumping between the two. We've still got Nuttall, we've still got Chandler, and we've still got Pollard all in the pit, all in the battle, sorry, of this one. So we'll try and bring you up the battles between the two going on at the well. And there's a lot happening at this moment in time as well. Jason Brooks tanked that BMW, cracking racing, he says. It's like a big V8, the BMW. It is at the moment. I can tell you one thing, the V8s do not handle probably as well as this BMW, I can tell you that much. But Pollard is now nestled in there now. Chandler's in there. There's nothing really happening up front. I'm sorry I've not concentrated on the lead battle, but this is where the championship inclinations are taking place. Mellis, Raven in the AMs, Nuttall, Pollard in the pros. Pollard's got to go with him now. I think this is the problem. He's got to go with him regardless. You've got to force Chandler out the way, Mikey. You've got to force Chandler out the way, Mikey. And he didn't force Chandler out the way.
Not quite able to make that move yet. It's also very quickly like a big V8. The irony is that the BMW is that humongous car with actually the smallest engine, with a 3-liter twin-turbo inline-6 engine.
Yeah. Oh, he's trying now. Pollard's in the mix. Cheverton is still fighting it out with Smaggers.
Chandler's looking as well.
Oh, you can't. Pollard is wishing, he's wishing he went then. Do you know, I would have ran as close to Nuttall then as I could. I would have literally, if need be, just opened off my brake pedal and just oofed him a little bit to get him going a little bit forward, because this is the problem. The gap's opening up now for Nuttall and Pollard. Nuttall out in front. He's literally nearly 7 tenths already ahead of Mikey Pollard. It was a no Mikey no moment because he had to go through on Chandler, because Nuttall is not going to mess around with Maynard. Maynard's going on a defensive. You can see him running down into 8 now. He's trying to, in that Aston Martin, hold that line. Pollard's trying to go around the outside. Nuttall's almost trying to go around the outside. Is Pollard going to get that run through? He needs to run through. You've got to go, Mikey. You've got to go, because Nuttall's now got one more. He has now gone over Maynard, and Pollard's got to do the same thing again. Kieran Sharp still leading the pros. Cheverton still leading the AMs, and he's got Smaggers Gal tucked in right behind as well. So there's a lot going on. Championship inclinations at the moment. Mellis, Cheverton, Gardner and Smaggers-Gal. Last lap of the race. Leaders are on coming around the outer loop at this moment in time. But I can tell you one thing. There's still a lot going into Spa that's going to be up for grabs.
Absolutely. And these guys are using all of the runoff there for a moment. But Cheverton obviously quite on edge there, with the Mercedes growing ever slightly bigger, with Smaggers-Gal up the S's, up the hill, over the blind crest once again, and a lot of straight still left to go with Slipstream now trying to block the inside at all costs. Next there looks for the outside. Can he make it actually side by side with him? No, he has to tuck back in.
Oh, that nearly didn't work. Leader's on his way round turn 8. We'll pick up on Kieran Sharp very, very shortly. But I can tell you one thing, there is some instrumental battles going on in this championship. There is literally Cheverton and Smaggersdale. And there is Giles and Smoggy fighting out further up. Sharp's going to win. There is still Pollard now behind Maynard. He has not cleared Maynard, and he needs to. There's still Mellis and Raven. There is still battles that can really affect what's going on. But one man who's not affected, he just needs the points at this moment in time, is Kieran Sharp. Over the line he goes. He takes that victory here as well. Giles gets Smoggy. That's fine. What's going on for Cheverton and Smaggersdale at the moment? It's still Cheverton out in front. This is going to affect the AM Championship as well. I do not want to be here for next week, to be blatantly honest, because the maths is going to be horrendous on who is going to win this championship, because at the moment it is all over the place, Nico. All over the place.
As I said, you know, we had some fairly straightforward results there. So we're making our way around the last corner now with the AM leads as well. And we thought, you know, okay, this will have a fairly straightforward impact. And then shenanigans ensued literally everywhere.
Oh, he's out of
Chandler
fuel.
goes past. Chandler just goes past Pollard. And
To
yeah,
the
I think
pits. He's out of fuel.
either
Oh,
that or maybe a penalty?
no, Mikey, no. Perfect moment. Sorry, couldn't resist. Mellis is
That totally
jumped
is right.
totally at the point. He's got ahead of Raven. He stayed in front of Raven there as well. No, Mikey, no. He's all the way down in 15th. I'm wondering if he's going to rely on this being his drop week. Oh, I'm hoping that is the case here as well. But that, I can safely say, was a stunning race with so many chapters written for the book going forward to last round in Spa. There is so many inclinations coming out of this that this championship in both of them could be just blown out the water. Nuttall and Pollard too far down the order. Sharp taking points off him. Smoggy taking points. The AMs. Raven losing points. Mellis losing points. Cheverton, Gardner, Smaggersdale all gaining points. Do not miss next week, because this is not done in any shape or form of the imagination. This is nowhere near finished. These championships are still wide open. But let's bring you up the race results here. And no, let's bring you up the overalls. Let's not worry about the class situation. Kieran Sharp is your winner. Liam Giles is second, and Felix Smoggy in first. Now they are, of course, all taking points out of Nuttall, Pollard, Davidson. That's it. On that one. Bobby Moss in fourth, Toby Prosser in fifth, Andrew Pike in sixth, Matt Cheverton in the AMs, taking the AM win over Smaggersdale, and that again is taking points out of Mellis and Raven, who are further down. Nuttall 9th, Maynard 10th, William Chandler 11th, Gardner 12th, Martin 13th, Stefan Hutter 14th, then Stefan Mellis, Hayden Miller, Bart Raven and Grant Miller further down the order there as well in 18th. Scott Warner, Ryan Walker, Mikey Pollard down in 21st, went in the pits on the final lap. I'm guessing that was fuel related, or he's just aimed to take this as his drop. Joe Thomas, 22nd, then Clibbons, Owens, a lap down, David Long. Of course, we saw what happened to him. Louis Hesketh, we saw what happened to him. Gareth Ronda and Matt Smith there as well. So I think we can safely say with Nathan Lewis, Stone, Prosser, Wu, Davidson and Hamlin, well, they didn't even get past lap one. So, yeah, unfortunately for them. We do have Hayden Miller in the booth for a chat. Hayden, welcome in, bud. How are you?
Good.
How was that out there?
No comment.
No
no comment.
You know it's my job to get the comments, right?
Hectic then, like every other race, hectic, dramatic.
Okay. Are we going to talk about the start at all?
We can if you want.
Okay. So how was your start here?
Shocking.
Okay. Yeah, it didn't quite go well, did it?
No, so the guys ahead of me. First of all, I think I got a good start, and then I just tried to follow them, and then coming into the final corner, and I was like, right, I need to get this Merc. I was stuck behind him the whole lap, and I was like, do you know what? I'm behind him. Tires are fresh. The grip feels good. In preparation, I clicked the brake bias back about 3 clicks, so I don't ABS, lock up in the ABS straight into him. And then obviously someone spun. I think it was Mike Pollard who spun in front of me, and can't go left because he's literally right next to me. Can't go right because there's no chance. Can't go straight on because there's a car there. So basically what happens is for some reason I can lock up the rears, so I spin, also hit him, and then I think that's Tom that just goes absolutely flying into the back of me. And I think he actually ends up upside down. Yes, he does.
He does end up upside down. Yes, he does. We're just literally getting to that moment as well here. Yeah, you're coming around the second to last corner. So this is what we were talking about with Hayden here. He goes up the inside, and then Pollard goes round, and then it all just goes Pete Tong. But listen, how was it after that? What was it like coming through the field after that?
It was fun. I literally haven't done any testing apart from today. So when I was shorter on pace, I was quite shocked about that, because I've just spent my week doing Petit Le Mans practice. But yeah, different cars, different track, different all sorts, and yeah, it was a really fun race. I had a mini battle with my dad, which was quite fun. But yeah, just nice drivers, good guys to race against. Obviously, when a crash happens, it kind of like contracts like a magnet, and everything kicks off. But yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, it definitely was on there. Well done, bud. Listen, great for you to carry on. It was awesome on there as well. Anyone you want to shout out before we let you go?
Yeah, my dad for having an amazing battle, and Tom for managing to flip the car around.
Awesome stuff. Well done. He put it blatantly on his roof as well. It looks absolutely amazing. So you should go and check that one out. Hayden, thanks so much for joining me on that one, bud. And
cheers.
Well done for finishing the race, I suppose we'll give you on that.
Cheers.
Take care, man. All right, next up, we have got Mr. James Smagersdale, who finished second in the championship in the AM race. Sorry, I'll get my words right out of this one. I will say he gained 17 places throughout the whole race. So I'm sure he's going to tell us of 17 amazing overtakes that he did to finish 8th overall. James, take us through them.
So everybody else crashed.
Oh, what groundbreaking news dropping there as well.
No, that was good fun though. I really enjoyed that one. I've never driven this car and track combination before, so yeah, that was a bit sketchy, especially fighting my own teammate for the whole race. So there you go.
Yeah, you and Matt having a nice little battle as well. I don't know if you realise the championship inclinations of what's just gone on in this.
But we very much do.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
Both me and Matt. That's why we didn't want to kill each other. I wanted to win the race. He wanted to win the race. But we both know that first and second at the end of the day is huge for both of us in the AM Championship. I don't know what happened to. Where did Bart Raven end up?
Right. So Raven ended up 7th in class, 18th overall. Right.
Okay.
Mellis ended up 6th in class, 16th overall. Raven had a shocking qualifying and never really recovered. Mellis had a great qualifying and then spun round and then ended up down into the clutches of Raven. They then had a great little ding-dong all the way through, and it resulted that Mellis come out on top. But while all that was going on, you and Matt and Mav had just gone through the field and climbed your way up. So from 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd and 1st, this championship's not done until we get to Spa.
No, it's really tight, especially with him dropping back. I mean, we knew that it was really tight for 2nd all the way down to 5th, I want to say. There was only like 3 or 4 points between me and Matt in 2nd coming into this round. So we both knew that we needed a massive result. And to to be honest, I think we've both just gone and got that. It's a shame that he won the race and not me. I was giving it my all on the last lap to try and get past, but I also didn't want to take him out.
Yeah, I thought you might have gone for it, but you know, at the end of the day.
Oh,
hey.
I tried.
Oh,
I
I
tried.
know, dude. I know. And
It went wheel to wheel through bus stop or whatever you call it. I don't actually know what you call
yeah,
it.
but I think going forward, how do you see Spa going for you now? You're not going to be as nice to Matt if you're all within 3 points of Bart, for instance, because Raven's had a shocking one. Let's not forget that.
He's dropped back. Yeah, he jinxed himself. Well, I think I jinxed him last week by when he was worried about his drop round being taken. I was like, oh no, don't worry. You know, you've still got 3 good results you're carrying. There you go. I think I've jinxed him. But to be honest, I've driven Spa in this car before in a different GT4 series, and I was terrible. So some testing needs to be done prior to the round, I think.
Yeah, please don't tell us that, dear sir. Because at the moment, Matt gained 30, you got 24, Raven only got 14.
Yeah, so it brings it right up. He's still leading, I think, isn't he?
He is still leading, but it will literally have you all within touching distance going into Spa. James, pleasure as always talking to you, dear sir. Thank you so much for your groundbreaking news on how you did your 17 overtakes me. It was front page. I'll get it out there tomorrow. Anyone you want to shout out, buddy, before we let you go?
Just all my teammates and my sponsors. They know where they are, but yeah, they always back us every week, and hopefully we don't crash tomorrow at Petit Le Mans.
All right, mate. Have a good one and good luck,
see
bud.
you later.
Take care, bud.
Cheers, boys.
Right. All right, and hold on. I've moved my own co-commentator at the same time there. And now we're going to have a chat with the man who gained 9 places at the start, but having gained 9 places at the start, did not quite complete lap 1 in the same place that he gained after that, because the front pros crashed, and unfortunately he was involved in it. So let's have a chat with him here as well. The man, the myth, the legend, the 9th place gainer at the beginning, Mr. Louis Hesketh. Louis, welcome in, bud.
Oh, thank you. Hello.
Hello. Listen, you flew, right? Like absolutely anything. In fact, at one point you were nearly 5 wide going into turn 1. You made it through all that, but you didn't make it through turn 10.
Yes. Yeah. I saw it happening in front, and I was like, I can't get out of this. I'm just going to have to try and minimize the damage, but I couldn't avoid it.
No, you definitely couldn't, sir. But what was going through your mind at the beginning?
I was just doing my normal start. I was just getting high revs in it. Well, not high revs. I was in third, just waiting, and then I just climbed to the throttle, and suddenly I was sailing past people. I saw a gap on the inside in turn 1, so I just took it. I didn't need a second invite, and then I suddenly found myself 9th, first in class, heading up the hill.
And then turn 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know. Hey, listen, at the end of the day, it happens, right? It was one of them. You had this absolutely amazing start, and then, unfortunately, the end of that was absolutely awful, and it put you in the pit lane and dropped you down through the order. Down and finished 12th in class, 26th overall here as well. Going into Spa, if you could put a word on your season, what would you put it as, Louis? How would you sum up your season going into the final round?
Very empty. This is my first race of the GT4 season. I haven't been able to make it for a multitude of reasons, but I've always loved GT4 cars, so I'm going to be going in there with hope, especially if me securing one of my first league podiums in Spa. It's definitely a favourite place for me to be able to hopefully get a good round.
All right. How, if you've got the AM Championship fight in and around you, are you still going to treat it as if it's your fight?
Yeah, I'm not giving out the red carpet to anyone. Everyone's an enemy for me.
Okay, mate. Fair play, Louis, on that one. Well, listen, sir, well done for completing the race. I'll give you that. Anyone you want to shout out before we let you go?
Just Project 91 team. Thank you to everyone in part of the team and that.
Awesome job, Louis. Much appreciated, dear sir, and pleasure talking to you.
Pleasure talking to you too. Thank you.
Well, there you go, Nico. I think Smagascal, his interview obviously wasn't really going to go and have a go at Matt. It was going to be very interesting anyway. It's going to be even now more interesting going into Spa with the AMs. The pros, again, the same scenario. They're still wide open. Anything can still happen. How do we see Spa going? Are we going to see Spa clean, great racing? Or are we going to see Spa drivers coming in with a load of adrenaline and it all just going Pete Tong for some of them?
I'd honestly say, it's a quite good chance of everyone, being on their best behavior. They know that Spa is a very fast track, a very unforgiving track. But I could also see a couple of them getting the brass knuckles out and going, well, final round of this season, you know what this means. And, it's just an absolute pleasure to have, one of the most iconic and oldest circuits from America now being followed up by one of the most iconic circuits in the world, and from Europe, being followed up right at each other for the season finale. And it's an absolute joy to see that. And with this championship fight now going into the final round as well, I think we are for a very good show.
We definitely are on that one. Thank you so much to everybody that's joined us, whether you're on TSRC or JBB. Much appreciated for that one. Mr. Jason Brooks, Piercy in there as well. Phil in there again as per normal. Thank you so much for joining us. And who else have I missed? Ewan Bramer, Sam Catcazinos, my man in Australia. Good luck on the 86s next week, buddy. Should be an exciting one. Thank you so much for that one. And Shroom, as always, for coming on. But for now, guys, well, it's time for rounding it off, isn't it? And as always, take care, have a great week, and you never know, we might see you on the track sometime. Good night.